take your time making your way onto the ground. And you'll just support, again, your shoulder blades, really like your upper back with the pillow. So you're just coming into like a slight back bend. Okay. If your pillow is big enough, your head might be able to rest on the pillow as well. If it doesn't, that's okay. Just make sure it's not straining like your throat. Like you don't feel like a lot of strain on your neck at all. That's the most important thing. And then your arms can literally be anywhere you want, out to the side. You can have them touching your body. Legs can be straight. If your low back is feeling sensitive, this is a great place to just keep your knees bent and have your feet on the ground. And of course, you can always use the option of having a pillow under your shoulder blades as well. Okay, so I'm demoing with the pillow here at first. I'm going to switch it out just to show what it looks like with a block. You can also do a little combo of both as well. Okay, so really just getting into this nice chest expansion. And again, it's gentle and restorative, like renewing, and just allowing us to give us the space to open our heart. Okay, like, whoa, that's kind of a lot, okay? You can really think of it as a way of, honestly, just like physically opening your heart up, okay? Letting your, ribs expand, your lungs expand, moving and shifting your shoulders back so that you are creating more of an open space through the front of your chest, where your heart is, okay? And right away, just start to find the rhythm of your breath. Just allowing yourself to let your inhales be just as long as your exhales. And your exhales just as long as your inhales. So you kind of meet in the middle, compromise here a little bit with your breath. So you start to take this nice mindful breathing. Okay, this is also a really great place for us to let go of just anything that's no longer serving us for today. Okay, if you've been running around, running errands, or I feel like I was saying this earlier, I've been running around all day, but I haven't even left my house really, okay? So, we have like meetings and schedules and, cleaning and cooking and all these things that we have to do that's always on our list, just everyday life. Okay, but this is the time where we get to just like turn that all off, be present on our mat, right? And getting here is half the battle, right? So we've all made it. We are all here and already be in gratitude for showing up for yourself this afternoon. And if your knees aren't bent already, slowly just bring your feet onto the ground. Okay, and as we have this prop under, our upper back, okay, we're a little bit slightly lifted up from the ground. We're just going to do small little window wipers with our knees, okay? And then, the hips follow, obviously. And then because we're lifted up, you may not be able to go as far. So again, these little window wipers can be subtle. They can, shift a little bit slightly from side to side. And I know I'm, kind of demoing both with the block and the pillow. So for me, like the block is a little harsher as I start to twist here. So I just twist a little bit smaller when I, drop my knees to one side and then the other. Okay, so I'm not going to the extreme sensation. I'm just going off pure sensation, moving what's pure and true in my body. And of course, do the same for yourself. Okay, we're all going to move differently. All right, going back to that just simple mantra of I am, you are, right? You are exactly where you need to be, and it's perfect. Okay, so I am, you are. Good. Okay, good. And then let this window wiper settle for just a moment and let your knees point up towards the sky. And if it feels okay, we're going to straighten the legs out and reach our arms up over our head. So again, we're just coming into this nice big stretch. Rib cage is expanding. It's like a exaggerated morning stretch here, especially with the pillow block underneath you. Awesome. Great. And then just a few more things here. Again, choosing whatever leg position you want to be in. Okay, knees can be bent, legs straight, soles of the feet together. Okay, we're going to come into cactus arms here. So gently just bend your elbows, bring your arms out to the sides. And maybe your arms touch the ground, maybe they hover. But again, just being in this chest expansion, in this space of opening up the chest. Okay, good. And then we're just going to do 5 of these. We're going to bring our arms from cactus arms out in front of us. You're going to press your forearms and your elbows together right in front of your chest. If your hands touch and your elbows touch, that's awesome. If it creates just an 11 shape, that's fine as well too. And then we're going to open our arms back out into cactus. And then we're just going to press our arms together here as they're bent and then opening up. Good. Here's 3. So it's just like a little chest press. 3, squeeze and open. Here's 4, squeeze and open. And 5, squeeze and open. Awesome. From here, arms are going to stretch up over your head. We'll just do 5 of these as well. Arms up over the head and then gently move back into cactus arms. Or if you want to come into like a W shape, you can also do that. Arms back up over your head. And then slowly bringing your arms back into cactus, bending your arms. So there's a little bit of a lat pull down here. Again, you can make this as easy as you want to, or you can really start to find a little bit of that activation by just kind of squeezing, pretending like you have like a lemon or a grapefruit under your armpit. So we're gonna just make some juice up here, okay? So get just a little bit of that muscle activation. Okay, last one. Here's 5, squeezing in. Again, this is really gentle and subtle. Arms back up over your head, and then slowly bring your arms down by your sides. Bend your knees, and we'll gently roll off of our prop so that we can move our pillow and our blocks just off to the side. And you can have your pillow handy, so we'll come into some twists using this as our prop today, okay? So we're gonna make our way back onto our backs. And we're going to set up ourselves for those 3 different kinds of bridge poses here, because I feel like it's a really great way to activate our glutes to release some low backness, okay? So from here, feet, knees, and are all hip distance apart. When you reach your hands forward towards your heels, okay, you want to see if your fingertips can just graze the backs of your heels. So we're like in this nice tight foundation here, okay? Walk your shoulder blades underneath you right away so that you puff up your chest. So we can now imagine like the pillows under our chest. Okay, notice right away here, what parts of your body are touching the mat, which parts have space. Okay, and we'll check in with all 3 bridge poses here, just noticing how just setting up the bridge may feel different and parts of your body are lifted away from the mat, okay? So from here, inhale in, ground through your feet, press into your arms, lift your hips up towards the sky, bridge pose. Good. Notice again which parts of your muscles you are using, your glutes, your hamstrings. Does this feel like a little bit in the knees, your quads tight? Can you lift your chin gently away from your chest? Just create a little bit more space. Let's stay for the inhale. Exhaling, lowering your hips back down. Okay, and then just resetting ourselves up here as we ground through our feet. We puff up our chest a little bit here. Inhale, lift your hips up towards the sky. Good, notice which parts of your legs you're using, pressing into the backs of your arms. Good, and always, for me, always these like first rounds, I feel like always like a little stiff, but I start to open up each time I move through my bridge here. Okay, so stay for the inhale. Exhaling, lowering your hips back down towards the ground. Okay, last one. Ground through your feet, puff up your chest, so shoulder blades underneath you. Inhale, lift the hips up towards the sky. Bridge pose, the yogi way. That's kind of a more traditional way that most yoga teachers set it up, okay? Stay for the inhale, exhale, release your hips back down towards the earth. Okay, good. From here, we're gonna walk our feet slightly away from us, okay? So I'm just gonna inchworm my toes forward. So now that my ankles are probably under my knees a little bit more and my feet are a little bit more forward, okay? So a little bit of a longer stance from the heels to the glutes, okay? From here, setting it up completely different, we're going to work and articulate through the spine. And as we're working and articulating up, rolling up and down the spine, we're not gonna let our rib cage fly open, okay, or pop open. We wanna keep the bottom part of our rib cage knit in as best as we can, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. We wanna keep it nice and sealed, so we're using our abdominals also in this form of bridge pose, okay? So from here, grounding into your feet and your arms, we're gonna curl our tailbone, tuck it under like a shrimp, and then press up and roll up one vertebrae at a time. And again, once your hips arrive, double check, did your ribs pop open? Can you seal them in, tight knit them in? Okay, and you're probably more at like a diagonal from your knees to your shoulders. Good, and then notice again what parts of your body are touching the mat, what parts are lifted, what muscles are you using? Does it feel different from the last bridge pose? Stay for the inhale, and then exhaling, slowly curl and roll down through the spine, starting at the top, probably the top of your rib cage, rolling down. The low back's always the hardest to get down onto the mat, and just rolling all the way down till your tailbone touches. Okay, and then start to peel back up again, okay? And as you're peeling up again, you can kind of take note, like what's touching the mat, what's changing, what's staying the same here in the bridges, and then lifting the hips up. Check in with your ribs, a little more controlled, a little more constricted maybe, or maybe not, maybe you feel more free in this version of bridge. Woo, my hamstrings are on fire on this version. Okay, inhale in, exhaling, peel down, roll down, nice and slow. Okay, good. Last one, curling up, rolling up, lifting up. Okay, you can think about your abs rolling in, keeping those rib cage in nice and tight. Good. Notice your glutes, your hamstrings. Take a nice big deep inhale in. Exhaling, peel down, roll down, nice and slow. Okay, awesome. From here, we're gonna open up our feet as wide as the mat, okay? And then when you look at your knees are gonna be like, and thigh bones, okay, your femur bones are gonna be more in like a V position. So a nice wide bridge, okay? And I want you to choose your version. I'm just going to lift my hips up. I don't think I roll up, but I think I do roll down on this version, but you kind of just choose whatever way you want to roll up, lift your hips up. You can be energetic about it. Just choose, like pick and choose what feels good for you in this version, okay? So from here, let's lift the hips up towards the sky, okay? And then I'm just gonna add, again, walking my shoulder blades underneath me. I'm gonna interlace my hands behind my back, okay? And this feels a little bit more free for me. Freeing, I should say, like I have a little more space to lift my hips up. Good. And then I'm just going to check in to kind of notice like what parts of my body am I using to keep my hips lifted. Am I pressing into my feet evenly, my big toe, my pinky toe? Good, and then I'm gonna slowly release my hands. I'm gonna lower my hips back down. And again, you can choose lowering straight down or rolling down. Okay, just 2 more, just like that. Inhaling, lift the hips up towards the sky. Good, if you wanna take the variation with the hands under the back, that's awesome. You can also grab the outer edge of your mat. This one, I'm gonna just keep my arms relaxed. Good, and really concentrate and focus on my glutes and my hamstrings right where they connect. And then exhaling, slowly lower right back down, nice and slow. Okay. Last one, again, choosing your arms, choosing how you want to roll up or lift up, lift the hips up. Pause for a moment, breathe. Choose your arm positions. Again, I'm just going to choose being relaxed here so I can focus on my glutes. I can focus on my rib cage being sealed up. That feels supported in my body. Okay. And then exhaling, slowly lower down, nice and slow. Arms move into cactus arms. Will gently shift from side to side. Little window wipers again here, maybe a little bit more larger. Okay, they can stay small. Good. Awesome. Knees point back up towards the sky. Okay, and then just walk your feet back underneath you so that we can take this right ankle and cross it up and over the left knee. And we'll move into the figure 4 glute stretch here on our backs. Ooh, this feels really good after all those bridges, okay? So again, if you want to shift around from side to side or do little baby circles here, any movement is welcome. And also stillness is always invited as well too. Okay, so just check in. Let's breathe. Good, nice full breath. Really great. Okay, I'm just going to change my angle here for you all. So we're going to keep the shape of our legs. Okay, we're going to allow the left foot to lower down. So release your hands, left foot grounds. Still the shape of the figure 4. The whole shape is going to move to the left, and you'll plant your right foot on the ground. Knees going to point up towards the sky. Arms can reach out nice and long, out nice and wide here. Okay. And then just think about, like, you know, your right knees moving maybe like up towards like the ceiling and the wall, and your hips moving down to the ground. So you have, like, again, this like energetic energy of like your knee pressing away and your hip dropping down, but it's, you know, your energy is moving. We're not like totally relaxed in the hip. We want to keep the knee and the right foot active by pressing. Okay. And again, you're welcome to stay here. This is the posture. Okay. If you want to intensify the stretch, and again, yogi's choice, you'll take your left hand and grab your right ankle. Okay, and then again, this is like this energetic pulling in. And then you'll take your right hand and press your right femur bone away. And you may get a little bit of an extra stretch. Maybe not. The other way was just as tight or intense for me. Okay, but you're welcome to take this bind if it feels safe in your body. Woo! I am so tight in this area, and I feel like I just stretched my hips like twice already today, and this is still just as intense. Okay, so use your breath. Whether you're walking, sitting, running, this part of your hips, you know, may always be really tight. Okay, our hips are always working, and we're always using them. Few more deep breaths here. This also gets into the IT band for me personally on this right side. I always feel it on the outer, all the way up through the, you know, the outside of my right thigh. Okay, good. Okay, I want you to come out of this however, whichever way feels good to you, okay? So I'm gonna release my hands, I'm gonna soften my knee, and I'm just gonna gently make my way back onto my back, okay? And we'll stick with the same leg. So right knee moves into your chest, left leg goes out nice and long. Okay, and without using your arms here, just for some stability here, let's do 3 hip stirs, okay? If you want to do more, that's fine. And then we'll go in the opposite direction. I know I said 3, and I think I did 4 because that feels like what I want to do today. So of course, listen to your body. Good. And then let's twist this out. Okay, right knee comes across to the left side of your body. And then this is where, if you want to use your pillow or your block, you can have it right underneath your knee. So your knee can, you know, kind of rest on it. And then arms are going to reach out nice and wide here. Okay. And again, you know, arms can be wide, or you can bring that left hand on top of your knee if that feels good to you. Good. Focus can be up towards the sky or over towards your right hand. And just breathe. Nice, full, deep breath, not just from your lungs, but all the way into your belly, your diaphragm. So you get nice, full, deep breaths. Oh. Okay, good. And you know, I'm just feeling this. I did not plan to do this extra stretch, but I'm just kind of wanting to do it right now. I'm going to add the quad stretch. Okay, so my leg that's straight, I'm just going to bend it, and I'm going to hook, I'm going to take my right hand and grab my toes. Okay, again, totally optional. It's just like what I'm feeling in my body that I kind of want to add in. Okay, and you're welcome to join me. Or again, just choose what feels best for you. Let's slowly release everything and make our way back onto our backs. Okay, and then we'll start the series on the second side. Okay, so left ankle over your right knee. Okay, take your time interlacing your hands, coming into the figure 4 glute stretch. Good. Any movement, stillness. Woo, this side's tight. Again, I said I taught earlier today, and I did some hip stretches, but my hips are still tight. So movement or stillness, checking in with your sides. How does this left side feel? Gently releasing your hands, right foot grounds, and then keeping the shape of the legs. We're going to let everything fall over to the right. Your left foot plants onto the ground. And again, instead of folding the knee, you want to keep the knee pointing up towards the sky. Arms reach out nice and long, out to the sides here. Okay. And again, just like this nice energy diagonal line from your knee to your hip. Okay. Keep pressing into this left foot. So you want to keep your left foot active. It's going to help support your knee joint here. Okay, and you're welcome to stay here. Or again, if you'd like to take the bind, right hand towards your ankle, so the hand that's closest to your ankle, right hand towards your left ankle, and then your left, it'll be same arm as leg, okay? Left arm is gonna press into your left femur bone. So again, to add a little bit of that resistance, okay? And breathe. Taking exhales out through your mouth if you need to. Good. Just a few more moments. I know this one can be really intense, but let's just take our time. And again, just remember to come out of this however feels good for you, okay? So slowly release, come back on, oh my goodness, back onto your backs, okay? And without using your arms, left knee into your chest, right leg out nice and long, and we'll do some hip stirs here, just circling the knee and the hip 3 or 4 times or 5, however many times you want, and then reversing the circle again as many times as it feels good. Okay, good. And then when we're ready, a little twist, left knee comes across to the right side of our body, and then again, using your prop if you'd like, I'm just resting my knee on the pillow here, and I'm just reaching my arms out nice and long. Good. Right hand can come on top of your knee if you wish. Good. So I'm really tight in my upper back. So when we twist like this, I feel it mainly from the rib cage up. And that's where I tend to hold personally a lot of tension in my body. Okay. And again, everyone's body is going to be different. You may feel like a nice, stretch or pull in the outer left hip, in the low back area. Okay. You may feel this like right in the center of your back as well. Good. Maybe in your neck, depending, maybe you slept on your pillow wrong, so you have a little bit of tension in your neck today. Good. And then I'm going to add, again, this is totally optional. It's just what I'm feeling. I'm going to add the quad stretch. So I'm going to take that straight leg and I'm going to bend it. And I'm going to take my left hand and grab my toes with it for a little extra added quad stretch. This feels so good to get a little pretzel-y today. Good. A few more deep breaths here. Okay, good. Let's take a nice big deep inhale in. Exhaling, slowly releasing everything, moving your prop off to the side, and we'll make our way back onto our backs, okay? Ooh. Okay, let's stretch our arms up over our head, our legs out nice and long. Sorry, I have obviously a lot of aches and pains today. I'm like, ooh, really, really feeling our practice today. Okay, and then from here, let's come into happy baby pose, okay? So arms and the insides of the legs to grab the outsides of the feet, or the ankles or behind the knees, and just let your knees move out nice and wide here, and slowly just start to shift from side to side. Okay. And again, if you're craving stillness, feel free to stay still. You do not have to take any rocking motions at all. Okay. Really honor what your body is craving. Okay. Good. Okay, awesome. And then from here, we're going to release our feet, hug our knees into our chest. Grab onto the backs of our hamstrings. We're going to rock forward and backwards a few times, okay? Or you can always just come on up, but we're going to meet in boat pose, okay? So we'll just do a little core work here so we feel really grounded and stable to come up to standing, okay? So a few rock and rolls, or just roll up, and then slowly coming up into your boat pose, okay? Legs will, be bent here like in tabletop. Hands can stay behind your legs, or you can start to reach them forward, and it can be one hand at a time also, okay? Good. Roll the shoulders back, lift up through the chest, squeeze your knees together so we get those inner thighs working. Good. And then just nice, soft, full breath. Good. Let's reach one arm up over our head and then lower down, and then reach the other arm up over your head. Woo! And lower. Let's do that just 3 times. Okay, on each side, just moving nice and slow. Just noticing how it changes. Okay, your toes can always come down too if it's too much for your body, okay? Please take your time. Boat, we haven't been doing a lot of boat poses, and you can really feel it if you haven't been doing it for a while, okay? Okay, good. From here, we're going to cross our ankles, hug in. We'll roll over our shins, or you can swing your legs around, and we'll make our way into tabletop. All right, getting up off the ground. Okay, so hands spread out nice and wide. knees under the hips, and we'll take our time just moving in and out of cat and cow. Good. Connecting your breath to your movement. Okay, awesome, everyone. When you are ready, we will make our way into our first downward facing dog. And again, make this downward dog feel, just as like therapeutic as all the stuff that we did on the ground. So definitely feel free to pedal your feet out, sway your hips from side to side. Okay. Finding movement, finding stillness. Okay, we're gonna find neutral downward dog in 3, in 2, and 1. Slowly find stillness here in your downward dog. We're gonna take 2 deep breaths here. Inhaling in, exhaling out. Last one, inhaling in, exhaling out. Bend your right knee, straighten the left leg. Okay, just come into this nice calf stretch. We're gonna hold here for 3 deep breaths. So inhaling in for 1, exhaling out, inhaling in for 2, exhaling out. Last one, inhaling in for 3, exhaling out, and switching sides. Bend your left knee, straighten your right. Okay, so again, we're getting into the calf and of course the hamstring, holding for 3 deep breaths. Inhaling in for 1, exhaling out, inhaling in for 2, exhaling out. Keep shifting your hips back. Last one, inhaling in. Here's the 3rd breath. Exhaling out, and then slowly straightening both legs if you can, or you keep both knees bent. Okay, good. We're going to stay for the inhale. Exhaling, we're going to gently start to travel up to the top of our mat. Take your time, coming all the way up into your forward fold. Okay, releasing your arms down. If they're not there already, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhaling to slowly rise up to come all the way up to standing. And exhaling, hands at your heart center. Okay, good. We're going to start. Actually, let's keep our feet hip distance apart, okay? So we're going to come into chair pose here. We're going to bend our knees, lower your hips, reach your arms forward, okay? So instead of going into like full chair pose, keep your arms reaching forward, roll those shoulders back, and then sit back, lift your chest up a little bit higher. Good, and just breathe here. If you want to take little pulses, you can. I like to kind of pulse a little bit. It helps me really activate my core and my hamstrings, my quads. Okay, good. Take a nice big deep inhale in. Exhaling, fold forward, forward fold. Inhaling to lengthen up halfway. Exhaling, we're going to step back, plank pose. Plank your way, okay, straight leg or bent knee. Take a nice big deep inhale in. Exhaling, bend your elbows, lower all the way down. Come up into your choice of back bend. Okay, nice big back bend. Cobra, Sphinx pose, upward facing dog. And we'll slowly meet in downward facing dog. Good. Okay, wonderful. In downward dog here, lift your right leg up towards the sky. Bend your knees, spin your hips open so that your knee points up towards the sky. Okay, and then from here, we're gonna do 3 hip circles, okay? So we're gonna circle the knee and the hip 3 times in one direction. Awesome, and then 3 times in the other direction. Very good, very good. And then we're gonna take that right leg after your last circle, we're gonna step it forward, and we're gonna come into warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. Left heel grounds. Okay, we're gonna rise up to come up to standing. Okay, and then just like we did in boat pose, we're gonna reach this left arm forward, right arm up. Okay, and then really think about, your shoulders squaring, you're pressing pressing into that left heel. Good, you're sitting up nice and tall. Good, everyone, good. And when you're ready, left arm can reach up towards the sky. Awesome. Good, staying for just a few more deep breaths. I'm just gonna change my angle here so you can kind of see my warrior one straight, ooh, straight on. Okay, great. From here, we're gonna lower our hands into the inside of our right foot. Okay, I'm gonna walk my hands towards the left diagonal. Okay, and my right knee is still bent, okay? I'm just gonna walk my hands over to the left. I'm gonna press my hands into the ground to press my hips back and over to the right a little bit. So it's like downward dog, upper body, warrior one, warrior two legs. It's really like warrior two legs. And you know, this is an active, nice stretch here for the right hip, hamstring. Okay, good, just breathe. Right, if you walk your hands way over to the left, it's gonna be like a totally different stretch. You wanna keep it at a nice diagonal, okay? Good. A few more deep breaths here. And then we're gonna walk our hands in, okay, and around our right foot. And let's just straighten the right leg, just coming into like a, you know, pyramid pose here. Okay, it's a little, you know, not super traditional pyramid, but just to get a nice hamstring stretch. Okay, so my right leg's straight. We're going to bend this right leg. We're going to step back, downward dog your way. If you want to vinyasa, awesome. If you want to skip it, wonderful. Okay. And if you want to go straight into child's pose, really great. Okay. Anything and any way you want to travel here for this little standing flow for our hips. Okay. Okay. Back in downward dog. Left leg lifts up towards the sky. Bend your left knee, spin your hips open. Okay, pause for a moment here. I know it's a lot on the hands and that right calf. And then we'll do our 3 circles in one direction with the left hip and knee. 3 circles in the opposite direction. 1, 2, and 3. Good, left leg lifts back up. You'll step the left foot forward. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Right heel grounds. Take your time rising up to come up to standing. Good, and we're gonna reach this right arm forward, okay? And as we reach this right arm forward, really helps us square our shoulders. And then we have to really think about activating that back leg. So I'm gonna ground through that right heel, that right pinky toe. Okay, good. So we're like really active here, standing strong in our warrior one. Arm reached back up over your head. Good. And then from here, hands are going to come into the inside of the left leg. We're going to walk the hands over towards the right diagonal. Okay. And then, you know, kind of reach out a little bit so that I have somewhere to go so I can press my hips over to the left. But not so much where I fall down. I'm all in control and still like, you know, in this warrior one, warrior two stance and just downward dog, upper body. And just breathe. Think about the hips opening. Think about your breath. Woo, lots of activation. And from here, we'll walk our hands back in. You'll start to walk your hands around that left foot. And we'll just straighten the left leg. Okay, just for a moment, just to get a nice little break. Okay, lots of control, lots of strength there in our warrior one. Good. And then we're going to bend that left knee. And we're going to travel back, downward dog your way. Maybe you just hold plank. Maybe you skip all of that. You just hold your back bend. Okay. Great. And again, we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Okay, good. From here, I'm going to lower down onto my knees just so I can grab my pillow or block. Okay, so we're going to use this as our props. I'm just going to have it close by, and I'll keep it here so you can see me grab it. Okay. So we're gonna come back into downward dog. Okay, so just have your prop ready for you, okay? Lift your hips up towards the sky. Let's stick with this theme of like lifting the right leg up. Okay, so lift the right leg up and we're gonna bring it forward and we're gonna come into a lunge, okay? So stay here in just a neutral lunge. Okay, hands are on, surrounding your right foot. Hips are squared, back leg is lifted, okay, good. Now we're gonna walk the right foot out to the right, so our hands are on the inside of our right foot. Okay, so gently just walk your right foot out to the right. So you're making more space for your body and your hips to go, okay? So from here, I'm going to take my pillow or block, and I'm going to place it. So when I lower my back knee down, oh, it's so joyful. It feels so good, okay? So here we are in our lizard's pose. You are welcome to stay up on your hands. You can lower down onto your forearms, okay? If you're like, wait, I don't want padding for my knee, I need it for my elbows, you can just take that block pillow and have it so you can place your forearms on the ground, okay? I like having a lift on my back knee, just something different for us to do here, okay? So I'm just gonna, again, I'm gonna come into that lizard pose again. I'm gonna use the pillow under my back knee. Good, and even lower down. My toes are not staying directly forward. They are turned out ever so slightly. So again, if that feels okay for your knee and your hip, that's awesome. If not, you can keep it parallel. You might just have a little more room if you turn your toes out ever so slightly. Okay. Good. Okay, we're not going to stay here too long because I know lizard's pose is really intense, okay? So that being said, let's come back to center, okay? So you're gonna walk your right foot back towards the center, okay? I'm going to take this block pillow out of the way, and I'm gonna keep walking my right foot to the left so I come into pigeon pose. Okay, and then I'll lower that knee and shin down. And again, remember the tighter, your heel is towards your pelvis, okay? Less intense. You bring your foot farther out, it's more intense, but again, do not compromise your knee or your hips, okay? And just fold forward right away. Okay, we get to relax now. We get to enjoy letting our hips soften, okay? I like these poses that we have to find activation and our strength, so we're not always relying on our flexibility. Okay, it's nice to have this nice balance that we have to use strength and flexibility in our hips and our hamstrings, quads, okay, like our legs when they're tight, you really feel that in your low back too. So it's good for us to keep, strengthening and activating so that, when we get to actually stretch, we can really enjoy it. So we did all that hard work of strengthening and now releasing. Okay, again, I moved my pillow out of the way and now I'm just using it as my prop under my chest. You can use it under your hips. Okay. And again, this should feel really good after all of that hard work we just did. Okay, really great, everyone. We're going to slowly walk our hands back in to come on up. And we're going to just meet back in downward facing dog your way, okay? So, I didn't really plan a lot of vinyasas, just, kind of the first two there. So, you're welcome to throw them in. You're welcome to take them out. And again, now that you kind of know what to expect on this next side, your choice. You can use the props. You don't have to, I just like, playing with them. So we learn new ways to use our props to maybe, help support us or feel a stretch differently. Okay, so let's go ahead and come on to the other side. Left leg lifts up towards the sky. Left leg steps forward for high lunge. Okay, so just stay in this high lunge for now. Feel what it feels like to be in neutral. Okay, so the hips can't really move too much because this left knee, left thigh bone's in the way. Okay, and we're gonna walk the left toes to the left. Hands are gonna move into the inside of the left leg. And take the block pillow so I can bend my right knee down onto it to rest it. And here we are in lizard's pose. Okay, good. And again, you can stay on your hands. You can lower onto your forearms. You can say, hey, I want the pillow under my elbows. You can move it there. Good. And again, my toes are slightly rotated out. And whatever direction my toes are going, my knee must follow. Famous quote by my college professor, Susan Quinn, wherever the toes go, the knee must follow. Good. And just take notice how this side feels. Okay, and then we'll slowly lift on up. Okay, we'll walk the left foot back underneath us. And again, this is where I'm going to slide my pillow out and away. I'm going to keep walking my left foot over to the right to lower down for my pigeon pose. Good. What can you let go of? Can you breathe a little bit deeper? What's changing? What's staying the same? I'm even noticing my mood is changing. Feeling already so much better moving in this way. It's making me feel happy right now. I feel a little bit lighter. Take your time. We're going to come on up, okay? And we are going to meet on our backs. So again, your choice on how you want to travel there. You can, again, travel through a vinyasa. You can step into downward dog, but just take your time. I'm just gonna bring my legs together and roll down onto my back, okay? Good. Okay, but please feel free to throw in the vinyasas as you wish, okay? And then I'm actually just bringing my knees into my chest, and I'm just gonna do a few little circles here while I, kind of give people some time if they chose to vinyasa. I'm just gonna circle my knees around. And then we'll all meet together on our backs, knees into the chest, and let's circle the knees in opposite direction here. We'll circle again about 3 or 4 times, okay? Again, yogi's choice, and then we'll reverse the circles. Awesome. Okay, great. And then slowly just lower your feet down onto the mat. Okay, and I think I want us to try this with our knees bent, and then we're going to straighten our legs. Okay, so we're going to do the glute isolations. Okay, but we're going to start it from this position. Okay, which is going to feel odd, strange, and maybe like you don't know how to squeeze your butt muscles. Okay, but we will try it this way, and then we'll straighten the legs, and we'll try it that way as well too. Okay, so from here, just working on the right side, we're going to squeeze the right glute and release it. Squeeze the right glute, your butt cheek, and release. Squeeze the right side and release. Squeeze the right side, release. Squeeze right and release. Switching to the left side only. Squeeze the left glute and release. Squeeze the left glute and release. Ooh, this side. Squeeze the left glute and release. Squeeze the left glute, release. Last one, squeeze the left glute and release. Okay, straighten the legs out. Okay, and then let's try it again, starting with the right side. Squeeze your right glute and release. Squeeze your right glute and release. Squeeze the right glute, release. Squeeze the right glute, release. Last one, squeeze the right side and release. Left side, squeeze the left glute, release. Squeeze the left glute, release. Squeeze the left side, release. Squeeze the left side, release. Last one, squeeze the left side and release. Okay, we're gonna do one pattern and then, then we'll relax, okay? So we're gonna squeeze the right side, squeeze the left side, release the right, release the left. Squeeze left, squeeze right, release left, release right. Squeeze right, squeeze left, release right, release left. Squeeze left, squeeze right, release left, right. Squeeze right, squeeze left, hold it up the top, release right, release left. Squeeze left, squeeze right, release left, release right. Squeeze right, left, release right, left, left, right, release left, right. Last one's right, left, release right, left, squeeze left, right, release left, right. Pause. You can reach your arms out to the sides. Hands can be connected to your rib cage. Just take a moment to breathe. Again, just notice what parts of your body are supported by the mat, which parts are lifted, what feels grounded, what feels light. And we're going to tense up our entire body. Okay, so make fists with your hands, maybe crunch up your toes, squeeze your quads, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your arms, maybe squeeze your face, crunch up your abs, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze in, and exhale, release, and relax. We're gonna do that again. We're gonna tense everything up, okay? So make fists, crunch up your toes, maybe, flex your quads, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your biceps, squeeze your shoulders up by your ears, squeeze your back, squeeze your abs, squeeze your chest, squeeze your face. And exhale, release. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Gently shift your head from side to side. And when you're ready, start to stretch your arms up over your head, giving yourself a nice big stretch. And then gathering your knees into your chest, we'll make our way onto our side. And we'll slowly come on up to a seated position. Again, go slow. Make sure your head's the last thing that comes on up, okay? So that you don't get dizzy, okay? Okay, good. As you make your way, bring your shoulders up by your ears, okay? And, you can let your chin lift and just kind of like shake your head no. Be a little like tense about this. Good, let's inhale in. Exhale, release your shoulders down. Sit up nice and tall. Good. Bring your hands on your heart center. Press your hands down onto your chest. Lift your chest up into your hands, sitting up nice and tall. Good. Take a nice big deep inhale in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. Bringing your palms together to touch at your heart center. Slowly just begin to smile in honor of your practice. Namaste, everyone.